right back to the X-Files, Season 2, Episode 15, Fresh Bones. This time we've got ourselves a Voodoo episode. And, so we got this military dude. He's having problems at home with his wife and his kid, and he leaves, and he crashes into a tree, and we see the tree is marked with this, voodoo symbol. It was called, I looked it up on
IMDb?
No, on Wikipedia, and it was called, a Veve.
A Veve?
I think it was, Veve.
Okay.
Veve? Vivi?
I don't know.
I don't know. It was, it's specifically,
it's an actual voodoo symbol?
Well, no, that's what they call a ritualistic voodoo symbol.
Oh, it's called,
a Veve.
That's the name
or
for it.
Or something.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm completely misremembering. I swear it's V-E-V-E. I'm almost positive. Anyways, it just reminded me of Hereditary.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
But I think it only reminds people of Hereditary who really paid attention. Because most people didn't notice that there was a symbol.
Yeah.
On the post that Charlie gets her head knocked off by.
Yeah. And on other things, obviously.
Sure, but because of this being, something they crash into,
right.
and it has that specific thing, it was fated to happen.
X-Files did it first.
X-Files did it first. This is Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it. X-Files did it now. So we are dealing with, this immigration of Haitian immigrants, and we've got this colonel guy who's a total dick. I didn't honestly understand, and I even looked it up on Wikipedia. I read the whole thing, which is where I got the Veve thing. I didn't understand his relationship to our main guy here, the main voodoo dude, Bolve, something like that. We watched this 5 days ago.
Yes.
So we probably should have done this quicker. But I didn't understand his relationship to him.
Yeah.
Even when I read it, I still didn't get it. I don't know why he was in a picture with him, back in Haiti. That didn't make it. I was, and then he's doing voodoo ritualistic practices, and I guess it's cultural appropriation. He's stealing his shit, but I don't know. I didn't get any of that. I didn't understand why they were there outside of they were immigrants that he was trying to keep out of the country, but maybe stealing all their shit. But he was only really stealing it from the main guy. So why the rest of them are there, and then why that kid's a ghost in the end. That all was confusing to me.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the connection there, because the rest of them are zombies.
Yeah.
But this kid's a ghost.
Right.
I'm completely confused on all that stuff.
I'm confused too, and unfortunately, I think this was an episode that I was doing something on my phone as well. I'm trying not to. It's hard because I've seen
our life
these.
Is packed.
Yes, and I've seen these before, and it's X-Files is definitely, to just go on a side note, the reason we initially stopped was because we were putting it on at night. Well, this is not why we stopped, but one of the problems.
Very comfy.
It's very comforting.
Yeah.
So, it's really nice. I feel I could just have X-Files on in the background and do other things.
Not when you're reviewing it.
Obviously not when we're reviewing it. But I do agree as far as, this being kind of a confusing episode with all of the, dynamics going on. This reminded me, though, of Serpent in the Rainbow.
Absolutely.
Obviously, it has a lot of that kind of a vibe happening, and I thought you commented on this when we were watching it, and I totally agree that the, camp that they're in is, set up really weird, where they have to go
bizarre.
through all of the refugees to get to the center where the military guy is.
They walk through the containment camp
to
get to the colonel, and it's there's no way they would make them walk through there's no way.
It just you would think his
quarters
part would be out,
they're
on the outside.
It's legitimately right in the middle of the square.
Yeah,
it's what?
It's interesting. It's really weird
setup. No, there would be they would take a path that is empty to the guy, and then they would go into the the jail area where they have them detained, the detainment center, right? That's where they would that's where they would then go to the fences and they would see all the guys from the outside. There would be no reason for them to walk through there unless they were specifically going to talk to random people. If they had someone specific, they would just have them brought to them.
Yeah.
Walking FBI agents through that area is just dangerous and reckless. There's no reason for it. They could get, overrun by them if for something, for some reason something was going on. I know they're not prisoners, but they kind of are, right? Like, that's how they're treating them anyways.
Yes,
they have the entire military
them
surrounding them, and there's been multiple deaths that the FBI is coming to investigate. So, like, there's no way they would just kind of, like, lackadaisically walk through a bunch of, undocumented immigrants. It just, that was hilarious to me. But it was a way for them to meet Charlie Bonaparte or something Bonaparte.
Yeah, it's Bonaparte. He says it.
Charlie? I think that might be it. Did I write it down?
But it's definitely Bonaparte.
It's something Bonaparte.
He says Bonaparte.
But that kid, like, he gives them the info.
Yeah.
It's weird because he says so they find him at a graveyard later on. And he's collecting frogs to sell to the main voodoo guy.
Yeah.
Bolivar, I think is his name. And he's like, I'm collecting these to sell to him. But then he's a fucking ghost.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would he be selling anything to him?
Why are you ghost selling it? Yeah.
And how was he, like, physically tangible?
Right.
Right? And even the bag that falls, like, clearly frogs are jumping out of it. So he is actually collecting frogs.
Yeah, well, and they touch him, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they grab him. I don't know, because we've had other episodes involving ghosts, spirits in X-Files so far, and they are not like that.
But this is, he's fully corporeal.
So, I guess that the voodoo has something to do with it.
But why would he bring him?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm confused about.
Did he, like, do a spell to bring him to the cop, to Mulder and Scully, to investigate him? But, like, you would think that he would give them better information and not be so fucking cryptic about things. And then it's not like he's already dead or he's being detained in a way where he can't talk to him, so he has to be the mouthpiece for him. Mm-hmm. They talk to him.
Right.
Directly.
Yeah. Like,
so why bring a kid back from the dead to investigate, to, like, help the investigation when you can just talk to him?
You could just say it.
And then he's beaten to death, but then wakes up to blow the tetrotoxin? No. I forget what it's called, but it's like, it's the stuff that is used in Serpent in the Rainbow, and it's the stuff, tetrotoxin or something like that. It's like blowfish.
Yeah.
Poison.
Yeah.
And it's like what they used in these zombification rituals where it would slow your heart rate. It's kind of like what they use in Romeo and Juliet. Juliet uses to, like, I don't think that's exactly what she uses. Tetrotoxin or something like that. But it's something like that where it, like, makes her look dead.
Right.
But she's not dead. But, like, he blows that stuff in the guy's face, which then incapacitates him. And then Scully comes to check on his body, and he's dead. But he just got the guy and got up and killed him. But then he's, like, in his coffin alive. Or, I mean, dead.
Yeah. So
it's like he blew it in his face, but he's still in his coffin. But then that guy is in a coffin later and is buried alive, which is fine. I mean, it's kind of like a comeuppance kind of thing. I don't know how that ends up happening because I feel like they would have, like, dug deeper into that one and given an autopsy and whatever. But he's gone, I guess. I honestly, a lot of this is very confusing to me.
Yeah.
The best scene in this episode by far and away, which I actually thought was very horror and very cool, is when Scully has this cut on her hand and she's, like, looking at it, and fingers come out of it,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
an entire dude rips out of her hand and
Yeah.
is attacking her, and she has to grab that like protection thing that the kids sold them.
Yes.
But that thing's in their car. A ghost sold them something that's tangible
in
and
their
is sitting
car.
in their car.
Yeah.
That she's able to, as soon as she touches it, he immediately vanishes.
Yes.
So thank God that kid came, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's an added thing to just add extra confusion to this episode, and I feel like the kid could have just been a kid.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, the fact that he
think-
died 2 weeks ago or something was, like, just added for, like, X-Files.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my God.
I think that this does happen sometimes in the X-Files, where there's just, like, one too many elements of X-File-ness in there that is unnecessary, that just kind of makes an episode convoluted or ridiculous or whatever, and it just depends on who's writing it and, like, what vibe they're going for, but... You know, I think that the best X-Files, like, because you do associate the X-Files with kind of having, like, you know, like, there's some type of supernatural twist or something is going on. So when they don't have, like, a big, like, reveal of that, I think that they like to, some writers would put it in.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think that scene's cool. That's a really cool scene. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many episodes came before this that had this, but this is a rare moment where Scully is driving.
Oh, yeah.
Very random thought, but Mulder
Yeah.
is 99.9% of the time driving. I just noticed it in this episode and was like, has she driven before in this show? Because my kids always point out, like, Mulder's always driving. Like, they notice it when we watch the show. They're like, he's always driving. And I never really paid attention. But then from that point on, which is somewhere in the second season, I was like, Mulder really is always driving. And then this episode, I was like, hey, Scully's finally driving. So it's random. There's no reason for it. It's not like Mulder's incapacitated or tired. There's even a scene. Oh, that's with Krychek in the second Dwayne Barry episode where he's falling asleep on the road and he's like, pull over, I'll drive. And he's like, no.
Yeah, he's
so,
like refused.
Mulder's like, no, I always drive.
Yeah. I think we might have seen her drive, like, by herself. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
we've definitely seen her drive alone, but with Mulder.
Yeah, but with Mulder, I think this is a rare instance. So.
We get Mr. X in this episode for a very short amount of time, which... I don't know. That feels kind of out of place for me. I don't feel like there's a big enough episode for him to come in, but comes in, provides a little info, and then ditches out.
It just kind of connects. It's like, hey, remember?
Remember this guy?
Larger thing happening.
And every time I see him, all I can ever think of is Creighton Duke from Jason Goes to Hell. And then we also have Roger Cross in here, who... I know from the show 24, and he popped up in here, and I was like, wait a minute. He's in another episode, EBE, as a military guy.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and he is in this show in 5 different episodes as 5 different military guys.
Yeah, he just has the military guy face.
And in 24,
he's a
military guy.
Yeah.
Much like Glenn Morshower, who is an actor who is... always 100% of the time I've ever seen him like some high-ranking military guy.
Yeah.
They just call him up. It's like Wes Studi. Wes Studi is the Native American guy in like every movie in the 90s.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, we got a Native character. Let's call up Wes. I don't know. There's these typecasts.
They get typecast and then they get a ton of work though. It's like.
Oh, I'm sure their bank account
isn't
worried, but I'm sure they get tired of playing it.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, probably some of them for sure. But maybe some are just like, oh, I always have a job. Like, they always need me for something.
I mean, to be fair, it's like our jobs in real life are repetitive.
Absolutely.
I do the same shit all day, every day.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of working actors who are doing kind of the same roles over and over again.
Happy to be working.
Yeah, and then there's the actors that get to do their character studies and, like, you know, specialize.
There's also a scene in this that definitely questions my thoughts towards Scully's being a doctor. Because she comes in on a dead body who she just saw earlier. This guy she just saw earlier. And he's got no real visible signs of, like, damage to his body or anything. And he's just, like, in a tub. And she, like, walks in. And then she just sees him and does not try to, like, pull him out of the tub.
Oh, yeah.
Start CPR.
Doesn't do
anything. It's like, that guy could have been dead for 2 minutes. You don't know.
She's like,
you could have brought him back. And then she sees, like, the dude show up with a knife and has no recollection of how he got there. And it's like, this guy could be saved.
Yeah.
Why, once you see him especially, are you not like, he might have just done it. If he's still here,
yeah.
This just happened. Apply pressure to the wound and start chest compressions. I feel like that guy possibly died. because Scully did not do what she took a Hippocratic oath to do. I don't know. When I saw that, I was like, Scully, are you going to maybe, I don't know, pull this guy out of the water, see if he's revivable?
Yeah.
She's just like,
it's a good point.
He's dead.
You make a good point.
If his head was off his body,
yeah.
Or if he's like his, in any case, she should have been calling an ambulance.
Yeah.
If nothing else, but she is a medical doctor. She knows how to perform chest compressions. She knows how to, put pressure on wounds or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she should also be calling in, like grabbing a phone and being like, I have a body here, like you need to get her. She does not try to call anyone in that moment.
She's just like,
if you find a body, as anybody, you immediately call for an ambulance and the police or whatever.
Yeah.
She just kind of sees him and it's like, oh, like, that sucks. He's dead. What? No way. Not as a medical doctor. No way I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Another weird scene here, and I'll never understand this in film, ever, but is when they show the picture of the high-ranking official. I think he's a colonel, whatever his fucking rank is. And the main voodoo guy, who I keep calling
Bulgari.
Bulgari?
Bulvero.
No, I said like Bolive. Some shit. Anyway, there's a picture of them together, which I'd already previously mentioned. But it is, I'll just never understand this. They're the age they are now, but they are so clearly photoshopped into the picture. And it's like, just take a photo.
I know.
Just take a photo. How hard would it be to just get a camera and snap a shot of them together?
Yeah.
And then fucking develop it and put it in the film? Wouldn't that be easier than photoshopping a picture in the 90s? It's not like Photoshop now, where you just go on a computer and just cut them out, and it's like, we need this for the production, we forgot it, whatever. It seems like it would be much harder to do Photoshop then than to just take a fucking picture of them together.
Yeah, there's other people in that photo, too.
I don't care.
It's like an old
they
photo,
had
so...
100 dudes on set who look like they were from Haiti.
I agree
right?
with you. I agree
just
with
have
you.
them in the background going, oh, and then just take a picture.
I do agree with you, but for some reason, I guess that's like why they... I don't know. I don't know.
There's no good excuse. There is none that I can possibly think of.
Yeah. They just wanted to use that photo, and they're like, we're going to put him in this photo. Maybe it's a famous photo.
No, it is not.
How do you know?
It's not a famous photo. They would have made mention to it if it was a famous photo. If he was standing there shaking hands with Nixon, I would be like, okay, right? If they were Forrest Gumping it and like inserting him into famous moments, where he's at Watergate and he's meeting... It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. Nixon, right? Isn't that who he meets in the movie?
I don't remember. It's been a long, long time since I've seen it.
I think it's Nixon.
Yeah,
but regardless, bro.
I agree. Yeah, they should just probably take a picture and like make it look old.
It's really complicated. They're in scenes together. Yeah. So it's not like they weren't on set together, right? You have movies where actors never meet. And it's like, we had to do that because they filmed at different times.
Yeah.
No, they share multiple scenes together in the film. Or in the episode. So during that, take 5 minutes, walk out with a camera, snap it. Doesn't have to be a fucking perfect shot. Doesn't have to be, In fact, the authenticity of it just being taken by some random would make it even better. Doesn't have to be, like some professional photographer took it. Mm-hmm. I'll never understand it. I will never understand it for the life of me. You know that the picture's relevant to the plot. It's a plot point of the movie, right? It's not like they're putting them on the walls in the background to line a house to make it look like they live there or something like that. Maybe I could understand. But when it's a central plot point to a movie or an episode, when they look at it and they're going to have a camera focus on it and the characters are looking at it like, that's him and that's him, and we know we're going to be looking directly at it in the shot, it needs to look better than clearly like a head that's been cut out, superimposed, and then shot into the picture. It takes you out of the film. It always does.
I think you should go back in time and tell them.
They still do it. They still do it to this day. And every time, I'm blown away by it.
Yeah.
Every single time, I'm blown away. Because they focus on it in the film and they show it on a big screen in full HD. It isn't like now where they're like, let's be on a TV. People will barely be able to tell. Now we're in 4K.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the picture like, my kid could do a better Photoshop than that. I see it in $100 million blockbusters.
Yeah.
And I'm always shocked by it. I always look at it. And I've actually made a Facebook post about it in my Sinister Cinema group, and we all laughed about it, and we're like, I don't understand why they do it.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't have an answer.
Like, I just want to be on set and be like, there's so many things in films where I just want to be on set and just to be the guy who finally raises his hand and goes, this is unacceptable. And you're fucking fired. And I'd be like, okay, you can fire me, and that's fine. You can have security remove me. But please, for the love of fucking God, let's all do everyone a favor and stop with the fucking Photoshop pictures. I know it seems like nothing.
No,
and I'm like nerd raging.
I'm agreeing with you, and I just...
It's insane to me. It's broken my brain for so long, and I've snapped.
Yeah,
that's what's happened. I've snapped. It happened in this Fresh Bones episode.
Yeah,
it's buried deep in our catalog. I should have made a whole fucking side video. They should make a Photoshop video. I'm gonna cut this segment out.
You could do that solo. You can do that video solo.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying I agree with you.
Why solo?
Because I don't have anything else to add to
your it's rant. Chester Bonaparte.
Oh, Chester.
And he died 6 weeks ago. Not 2. It's not whatever the fuck I said.
You said 2.
I said 2 for sure, but I don't remember.
Said
Charlie Chester.
Chester Bonaparte.
I had the first 2.
Yeah.
That was the fuck up. Shut up. Okay, that's it.
All right.
Yeah. I spent half that video talking about Photoshop.
Yes.
But other than that, I hope you had a good time. This is the channel. Welcome. It's better than the 5-minute videos I used to make on this show.
That's true.
Or maybe not.
I don't know.
Maybe other people were like, can you go back to the 5 minutes?
Probably some people.
They try to be entertaining. Try to be funny.
You're funny.
But I'm actually not trying to be funny. I'm actually mad.
It's funny that you're mad, though. That's what people like. That you're so enraged.
All right, guys. That's it. Fresh Bones. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.